This is Pure Liberal Fire for December 13th, 2010. I'd like to discuss the court decision earlier today from Federal District Court Judge Henry Hudson of Virginia. What he did, as you probably heard, is he invalidated a large part of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, which is more commonly known as ObamaCare. He invalidated several parts of it, but the most important part is the worst part, the coercive part, the part that says you absolutely have to buy into this healthcare system of his, this socialist and communist system of Barack Obama. He said that this is a violation of the American Constitution. In general, what happened today was a victory for freedom. It was a victory for life, liberty, property, and privacy. And Judge Henry Hudson did all of us a huge favor. There have been quite a few decisions so far, and at least two of the major ones have gone against freedom and in favor of this communist system of health care. And yes, it really is communist. But at least this is a small victory, and this will probably throw a little bit of sand in the gears as far as converting America from capitalism to socialism and communism. I think that in general, this principle is of forcing people to buy health care it's outright coercion, it's tyranny, it's unprecedented. I think that as bad as it is, however, I think you have to note that Medicare, which is a government system for old people, and Medicaid, which is a government system of health care for poor people, these are also nothing less than communism. People might be more comfortable having it referred to as socialism or collectivism, but you can still accurately and correctly refer to that as communism. So there's a little bit of a victory in defeating a small part of Obamacare, but we're still stuck with Medicare and Medicaid, and there's fundamentally no hope. Maybe 50 years from now or 100 years from now, people will finally figure out that laissez-faire capitalism is the morally and practically best system. Maybe in 50 years or 100 years, people will finally defeat the welfare state. I think it's worth noting in this bill that, as usual, the government, in defending its indefensible activity, it cited the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution and the General Welfare Clause, and these are just incredibly evil parts of the American Constitution, at least as far as they've been interpreted. Even though when they were passed, they were relatively benign. I think that President James Madison, in 1817, actually vetoed a bill in which he cited the Commerce Clause and the General Welfare Clause. And he said these were just excuses to expand the government. Of course, the general problem today is not that people are necessarily violating the Constitution. It's just that in general, in America, we've moved beyond capitalism and freedom, and we now embrace welfare statism and tyranny. So it's not really that the various Republicans and Democrats are all that evil, even though they are. They're basically just going along with the general public and the overall best wisdom of the world, which is dreadful. All I can really say is that in the future, you have to hope that when a new Constitution is written for America and all the other countries in the world, you hope that there's not going to be anything like a Commerce Clause or a General Welfare Clause, and I'm pretty sure that there won't be. But still, technically, you have to note that this judge, Henry Hudson, was absolutely correct. Congress does not have the power or authority to do what it did. And even if it did have that power, it would still be an act of tyranny. It would still be a form of slavery. Judge Hudson refers to this law as, quote, global regulatory scheme, unquote. And he also noted that this case is fundamentally about, quote, an individual's right to choose, unquote. And he's exactly correct about all of this. But the main problem is still welfare statism and the fact that all these laws, not just, all the laws for 100 years or more have been sort of tremendous violations of natural law. In case you don't know, natural law, which is a law of life, liberty, property, and privacy, the unlimited right of the individual to live his life as he chooses, provided he doesn't violate the equal and concomitant right of his fellow man to do the same. Natural law, as was noted by Aristotle and Cicero and many others, is the absolute law of the world. And so this Obamacare is a violation of that, but then so is Medicare and so is Medicaid.